How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Nerdy Basement Podcast. I am your host, as always, the OG Osmosis, or just simply Ozzy. And joining me, as always, are your
What's
other
going on,
hosts.
everybody? You already know, man. It's Eddie. What's going on? Let's go.
It's your boy Boozer.
And we are back again. This is probably the
Mhm.
last episode of the year, by the way, but we are back. We went on a brief hiatus. Brief, unintentional, completely unintentional. Life is just kicking our asses. But listen, we came back together because a lot of shit has been going on with DC. There's a whole reboot going on. We've been talking about it behind the scenes. We're like, nah, we got to get on the pod, save all those stars. Let's dive into all of these news because the past couple of weeks honestly have been utterly insane when it
been a
came
joke, people.
Quite literally, you guys see the vibes, the hues, the Yule log, Christmas trees, purple lights, red lights, clear lights. We got it all. We got the bald heads, we got the hair back shape ups. Yo, everybody is here full throttle. We got no announcements on anything because we got a lot to talk about. But let's get right into it. James Gunn is obviously setting, the internet into utter chaos.
I like to call it a tizzy.
Reboot.
He's been sending the internet into a tizzy.
Into a tizzy with his full-on reboot of the DCEU. Listen, we talked about it back maybe I think it was a month ago or a month and a half ago when James Gunn and Peter Safran were announced as co-chairs and co-CEOs of the newly formed DC Studios, to basically come together and create this 10-year plan for Warner Brothers Discovery and to essentially put DC back on the map, because we suffered, for a better part of a decade with cancellations, announced movies, racism within the the WB offices, Zack Snyder, the Snyder Cut, Joss Whedon, sex allegations, Jeff Johns leaving, reboots, reworks, and multiverse universe. We have literally dealt with everything. Henry Cavill's coming back. Henry Cavill's not coming back. Ben Affleck is back. Michael Keaton is also back. They canceled Batgirl, but we're getting Blue Beetle. We're getting 3 Superman films, but we're not getting any Superman films. It is utter.
It's chaos. It's pandemonium.
It's chaos.
It's pandemonium. You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if any of y'all. I mean, this is probably going. Calling out my age. But if y'all remember Mad TV back in the day, one of Keegan-Michael Key's characters was basically just a character that would go to the movies, and you know how they would interview people back in the day at the movies at openings, and he would play this character that just wears either no shirt or a beater. He would have the shower cap on, and he would just be eating a pan of popcorn, the when you cooked over the pan, and it just and he would just be eating right out of that pan, and he'd be like. It would be Alien versus Predator, and he was like, "It was pandemonium." And he's just shaking the popcorn. Everyone's like,
"Yo, not remember that scene."
That's all I'm thinking about when I think of DC. It's pure pandemonium.
It is.
I think it's the worst thing is that this is our second episode dedicated to the fuckery of DC right now, and
WB and DC.
It's insane. But I'll say this for myself at least. I can say we expected this. We just didn't expect such a,
roller coaster.
This was a roller coaster. I was also going to go because it's snowing still. You know what I mean? It's I was going to say avalanche. There it is. That's
definitely.
You know what I mean? They all work. Roller coaster.
It all snowballed.
Snowballs.
Yeah, exactly. Snowballed.
It all works, guys. It all's there. It just sucks. You know what I mean? It sucks. Like Ozzy said, we've been dealing with this for far too long, and it's it just doesn't end right now, but hopefully
every time I look on Twitter, it's just but wait, there's more.
It honestly feels that way, especially with all the conflicting reports. You got reports from Hollywood Reporter, The Wrap, you got Deadline, Variety, and all these 4 big trades, Hollywood trades at that. The thing is, a lot of these reports were not coming from scoopers and insiders or grifters on YouTube who were just speculating, or those, the people on Twitter who were just throwing out scoops just to spread misinformation. This was coming from legit Hollywood trades, outlets that you're you know what? They have a reputation within the, the biggest entertainment ass corner of the industry. We can take them for their word. But when they're battling each other for no, your story is false, no, your story is false. No, oh, I got the inside scoop on this. And then you got James Gunn on Twitter like, nah, y'all both wrong. Like shit, it's just utter chaos. But before we dive into that, let's take a quick glance at what we should expect to see from DC in 2023. We got The Flash, still, Shazam Fury of the Gods, and we also got Aquaman. Now, there's a lot that's gonna, everything that we're gonna talk about is gonna affect this to some degree, and then we'll bring it all to a close by the time we finish all that up. But one of the biggest tiffies, you know, like Ed said, has been going on with this whole DCEU shakeup has been Black Adam. And the box office flop or success, whichever way you want to look at it, it has become. So obviously that movie's dropping on HBO Max tomorrow or December 16th. This whenever you're watching this episode. But a report had come out from Variety and I believe the Hollywood Reporter, both stating that essentially Black Adam was a flop. It needed over 75 million to essentially profit, to make a profit still. Like it didn't even make a profit. The movie essentially didn't even break even. Didn't break even, didn't make a profit. Then here comes Deadline with their report saying like, no, this movie is indeed a box office success. A report that The Rock kind of backed in like, yo, we got the numbers, my financiers, you know, we did the math. We won here. We won here. You know, 2 + 2 does equal 75, and we made it. But
21.
Obviously 21 exactly. So you know the who else came out? I think it was the Hollywood Reporter after that came out with another story stating that WB executives believe that The Rock leaked falsified documents to Deadline with inaccurate box office numbers, leading the trade to write up their rebuttal piece stating that Black Adam was in fact a success, box office success, which obviously it wasn't, which is a little embarrassing for The Rock. Like I get you want your pet project to kind of be successful. We will all want something that we create to be successful, especially working 15 years, bro. You got cast as Black Adam when we were still in high school, bro. So it's like I get it.
Yeah, but it's also like I don't think he falsified anything. You know what I mean? It's like he has at least enough integrity to say like he heard something from someone. And at the same time, what is the definition of success, right? That means people were reviewing it, and the besides critics, obviously, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
most of the fans, critics aside, the audience pretty much were raving about it. They had a good time watching it. They were enjoying The Rock. People love The Rock. So that's a success. People went out to the movies. He made a big number, obviously, when it comes to the movies, especially post-pandemic. Most people aren't really still going to the movies. So it's like there's so many factors to like kind of either go toward success or toward failure. You know what I mean? Obviously, when the big wigs in WB sees it that we spent 500 million on this and we only made 365, so we need to still make 200 more million before it leaves theaters to be like cut even. But it's like, you know, it just people are expecting certain numbers for certain things, and it's like it just kind of like diminishes the fact that the movie was not that bad. It's like it sucks, you know.
Yeah, there are worse movies that did financially way better. Like the first Suicide Squad, like I'm pretty sure that did pretty decent in the box office, right? Didn't that actually do pretty decent?
I believe it.
Like it wasn't a horrible showing. And like, listen, even like one of my first reviews, I think my very first review on my YouTube channel was Suicide Squad.
God, I love how he brings up the dead.
And I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. There were things I liked about it. There were things I didn't. I didn't think it was the worst film.
Oh, I hated
tear it down. And listen, I understand. And I even said it. I even said the thing. I get why people. Even those
scenes with Harley Quinn, don't show me them. That's not Harley, bro. I'm sorry.
I get why people didn't like it. And listen, the new Suicide Squad, I found it much better. But listen, like that, I would say was way worse than Shazam. I mean, Black Adam.
Oh, but no, yeah, totally.
And it did financially pretty good. So it's just like it's. I know obviously these people want movies to make money, but like, man, like, I think that movie alone, getting the hype with Henry Cavill at the end, was already like I think that was a pretty big success alone, and getting people hyped and wanting to see Henry Cavill back in the role.
That's a big achievement.
I think it was a big achievement in that. It also got people talking about, you know, wanting to see, I mean, at least from what I could see, you know, more with Dr. Fate, more, you know, with Hawkman, characters that they you know, they've been so weird about introducing these like awesome side characters in the DC roster, and just so focusing on like half the Justice League, because we still aren't even getting Green Lantern. You know, I made a video about that 5 years ago when they were talking about making a Green Lantern movie. Like, I think it has, like you said, there are ways that movie was a success outside of like if you consider it financially successful or not. And it sucks because the industry only cares if it's financially successful. That's all. That's the only barrier that they care about.
True. Like, I'm actually making notes for the like a different point later on, but like we were just saying, it's like, because of this and how they're setting up like part 2 and shit, right? Because like, how does this affect Black Adam part 2? Like, we put it in the notes. Good call, Ozzy. It's like, I'm not gonna, it's like we got our Superman back that everybody has known and loved for the past, like, you know what, 5-6 years and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, to go through all that effect to be like, hey, now he's coming back. We're going to get our Man of Steel 3. We're getting, you know, potential Black Adam, you know, and, you know, it just hurts so much more. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's crazy. It's
one thing I got to say is whoever is, and I know there's like, you know, the WB acquisition and like the changing of the guard, like at the end of the day, I know a lot of these people get paid way more than I do at my job. And the amount of like fuck ups with handling this, both from a PR perspective, but also from a people perspective, from the people you hire, like literally having someone announce that you're coming back as Superman, and within a month, announcing, hey, I'm not going to be back as Superman.
To be specific, less than 3 weeks.
Less than a month,
less than a month,
less than 30 days. They have to announce, no, I'm not coming back as Superman. Like, from a people perspective, that's just horrible. Like, to do that to one of your talents is rough. Like, on a grand stage, and that, like, that's rough. To put him in a movie, say you're coming back, and then be like, not anymore, son. And then from a PR perspective, again, we were hype. Even people that like didn't like the Zack Snyder universe, or a lot of people did like Henry Cavill as Superman. So it's almost like I find it very few people didn't want Henry Cavill back. So they got hype, and then to have all that taken away, like, you're just like destroying. Like, I can't tell you, I've seen people literally that love DC. They're just like, I don't even care about what's coming up aside from Batman. They're like, I do not care. And that's not good from a PR perspective. You don't want that. You don't want people deflated. You like, that's how people feel.
It's been rough. It's been a rough 15 years. I'll tell you that much. It's been a rough near 15 years being a DC fan, and you can understand people's frustrations. And it's just, and like I get it. You could have done a reboot and still kept Henry Cavill. I mean, it's not totally out of the question.
I know they're keeping Peacemaker, and they had the whole Justice League in there.
James Gunn is not getting rid of
they're not getting rid of Peacemaker, and they're just going to pretend like that scene probably never existed. So don't tell me.
He can still play it off.
He can,
you know, they never show Superman's face because, you know, Henry Cavill.
But who knows if they're possibly going to recast Momoa? They're definitely going to recast Flash. Absolutely. So there will be new faces.
That should have been the first announcement, to be completely honest. Absolutely. That should have been the first announcement.
Yeah.
But we're recasting Barry Allen.
No matter what, they're not keeping anyone. Like, maybe Gal Gadot stays. But if Gal Gadot stays, then why couldn't Henry Cavill stay? That's what's confusing, is if you can keep any of those characters, whether you keep Momoa or if you keep Gal Gadot, like, literally, what's the point of having to get rid of Superman? And then we're getting an early stages of Superman. That was Man of Steel. He didn't even have his suit. We got the early stages of Superman already. Do we really need that again? Or do we need him as like a teenager or whatever? I don't know what age range he's going to be.
I'm not sure. It's going to focus on him being
in the early stages of Superman.
Early stages of Superman, and as a reporter for the
I guess they'll focus
planet,
on him in like Metropolis and stuff like that. But
it's gonna be in Metropolis, but
they still could do
I'll jump ahead a little bit too. That was one of the other points that we had for Henry Cavill. But yeah, according to some of the scoopers that I keep up with, this reboot will see everybody recast. So you know, Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa, obviously Henry Cavill is already out. Gal Gadot is most likely getting recast as well. So this is essentially a full-on reboot. Now, again, box office numbers,
except for Peacemaker,
obviously,
because James Gunn, obviously,
yeah, James Gunn, obviously, that's his baby. Unfortunately, listen, he's the man. He has power. He has control over that. So
one thing I gotta wonder about,
other than David Zaslav, who's gonna really tell him like, no, you can't continue?
Yeah.
With Peacemaker, you know what I mean?
The one thing I also wonder is like, what is the place of Blue Beetle? Because like, was that even really intertwined into the DC universe at all? Was it
in theaters?
Huh? Well, let's not even jump around. First off, I saw this note in our thing about The Rock saying no to a cameo in Shazam 2. And I love the little, like, I don't know where you got, like, where the quote came from stating he's only here for the big leagues, which is ridiculous for him to say that. But it's also because of the fact that this is one of those moments that I'm like, it does not sound like The Rock that I've known, right?
Not sound.
Wait, what was the quote?
The quote is
supposedly, right? Supposedly he was offered a cameo. He was offered a shot to film a cameo in Shazam 2 that would be shown in Shazam 2. Obviously to further set up that universe, the eventual clash between him and Shazam, him and Superman, that big fight, obviously to tie all that in together. Supposedly The Rock, you know, according to the reports, The Rock refused. And listen, this quote, and don't quote me on this because this is not my, this is one of the quotes that was attached to this report. Again, apparently he declined because he's only here to play in the big leagues. As you see my notes, my reaction is like, I don't believe that. I just don't believe that.
It's funnier because it's like, why would, for him to want to be in this like universe, he obviously knows some of the lore to the point of they are literally yin and yang. These two don't exist without each other. Like, so it's like to
quite
put
literally.
him quite literally. So it's like, it literally, we had Idris Elba as freaking the Wizard in Black Adam.
No, Digimon Hanzo.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Damn it.
No, but listen,
I messed up. But you know what I mean? Yeah, we had the
to
correct,
further connect that.
Like the Wizard.
You got a glimpse of Black Adam in the first Shazam movie, because when Billy Batson is being showed how the first champion was chosen, aka Black Adam, you were given that brief origin of Black Adam, how he came to fall, and why the Wizard was like, yeah, you know what? We're not giving the people these powers anymore. We're not picking champions just on a whim anymore. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of show that you got that good in you in order to wield this kind of power. And then you get Digimon Hanzo again, as you just mentioned, in Black Adam to further add to that the connection between the two characters.
That's it.
Where, like you mentioned, these characters literally cannot exist without each other. If Black Adam does not exist, you do not get Shazam.
Correct.
Ever. You don't get it.
Yeah. And then when Shazam becomes Shazam, then we don't get Black Adam back, because there's no reason for Black Adam to return, because he's still trapped. There's like, it's ridiculous. So
I mean, we could, in the comics, Black Adam, I mean, we can get him back.
In this, in the sense that, like, it's easier for you, especially with Shazam already in the universe, to bring in Black Adam, because he always comes in after Shazam, because of the fact that he's always been the protagonist in the sense of, okay, the antagonist, like, after Shazam becomes Shazam, is like, you're the reason why it was so hard. This guy dies. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. But it's like, so that is hilarious to me, because I'm like, I don't think he would ever really say that.
As you see my notes, my reaction is literally there. Like, wait,
honestly,
this don't make no sense.
Honestly, I would not be surprised that he shows up in that fucking movie.
Oh, yeah,
Now he shows up because of that quote.
Is Shazam getting recasted too? Is everything getting recasted?
Oh my god.
I don't know. We'll get into that. Those are questions that I have. Let's get into everything else, and then we can get those final questions and kind of speculate where we're gonna go, because it's literally, those are questions literally everybody is asking.
It's just like 1,000 questions.
It's literally
just 1,000
questions now. It's literally 1,000 questions. But yeah, moving on to Henry Cavill. Obviously, his return is null and void. Less than 3 weeks, that we were just mentioning. He publicly announces his return as the Man of Steel, and then 3 weeks later, he has to publicly come out and say, like, listen, I'm hanging up the cape for good. And I met with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and yeah, it's not really gonna go where we want it to go.
Absolute L.
Again, I feel like it is an L to some extent. And listen, and I say this because I very much like Henry Cavill as an actor and as Superman. I really enjoy Henry Cavill as Superman. But it's just been rough seeing the fact that he not only left The Witcher because the showrunners were being assholes and they didn't want to stick to the source material, that he, as a gamer and as a admirer, a fan of the source material, wanted them so hard to stick to, and they did not want to do that. Obviously, he saw an opportunity to return to another role that he also enjoyed playing.
So he was like, deuce.
He was like, all right, deuces. So then like, yeah, nah, fam, we're not doing that no more. It's like,
he made life decisions based off of, like, that's the frustrating. And now, granted, we don't know if he would have left Witcher anyway, even if without Man of Steel. I mean, he hasn't come out and said anything, so we don't know that. But like, my thoughts is he probably did. He probably was like, all right, this is frustrating with this. There's options to go back to being Man of Steel. Like, if that is the case, that's rough. That's absolutely rough.
It is rough, because you're making career choices at that point. And these people with these kind who play with this kind of money and have this kind of stature in life, their career decisions are a huge scale, much grander than what our average Joe essentially, career choices.
Way more impactful than from like me going from one retail job to the next.
Exactly.
Way more impactful.
Like if I leave my customer service rep job
and go to another one. No major
am I
life
really
changes.
gonna end up in the streets? You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta mismanage my money horrendously to end up on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like,
see, the one thing I could say is, like, I like the fact that he did mention, working together in the future, right? Because here's the thing, you guys even touched on it too. There could have been so many ways that we could have worked our way to the full-on reboot. At least give all these great actors a chance to finish off their stories, make sure they, get the send-off that they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? If it didn't have to, and again, they're forgetting, it's like, not everything needs to be a fucking Hollywood blockbuster. We could have just I would have been happy with a 6-episode series on HBO Max. Why couldn't we just get that sent off that way?
They're trying to get rid of HBO Max. I'm just trying to enjoy HBO Max.
It's
while we got it.
It's called the Max now, okay?
I don't even know what they want from. I don't even know what they want from streaming at this point, with the amount of things that they're removing.
Yeah, see, that's a question for later. That's discussion
for later. All I know is that Zaslav wants to focus on TLC content and 90 Day Fiance on
garbage, absolute garbage.
That's all I know. So
that's disgusting. And the worst part is that they're getting money off of that, though. Let me not.
Listen, all I'm going to say, and I'm going to go on the record and say this: I enjoy the drama that comes with TLC. All right.
I will smack you next time I see you. Remind me.
listen. I think we need to. I'll add a caveat. Listen, it's got some insanely stupid and somehow entertaining stuff on there we've seen, but I would much rather have anything else other than that. I would scrap that in a second for anything even half decent DC related. I would scrap all of it. Get rid of those 90 Day Fiancés. Get rid of those.
No. So you can't touch my 90 Day Fiance. I enjoy 90 Day Fiance.
Gone.
I enjoy that.
If I'm getting good DC content,
what happens after 91 days though? That's the question, and you're missing out on that.
Well,
I don't need to see another man put mayonnaise in his hair. That's where it's at. Okay, I don't need to see another man put mayonnaise in his hair.
What happens on the 91st day?
Ozzy, would you rather see someone put mayonnaise in their hair or some dope ass superhero content?
No, I would most definitely always pick dope superhero content over mayonnaise and eggs on somebody's hair. But listen, all I'm saying is, when you're chilling on a Sunday night
I'd rather find my
Listen,
superhero
just
shit
you
than watch.
know what, Ozzy? I'm gonna need you to remember this. Every time you pop on that show, it's another DC show we ain't getting.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Damn, that
Think
was
about
harsh. Good shit.
It's Think you. About that
it's
shit.
you. You're the problem, Ozzy.
You're
That's
the
what
problem.
they're saying. You're the problem.
I am the problem.
You're the virus.
Call me Parallax in this motherfucker. I'm the virus and shit. Oh man, but yeah, back to Man of Steel 2. They did get Stephen Knight to write a treatment for Man of Steel 2. Unfortunately, the execs did not enjoy that very much. Listen, they're not enjoying much of anything, to be completely honest, because outside of the DC, their decision making is like, I'm just like, really? Like, what are your standards? What are the requirements here to get the green light? You know what I mean?
I just want to know who are all those, like, who are the people in these roles? Who are the people in the yes or no like roles that are
people who will go unnamed? Unfortunately, they will remain anonymous.
Oh God, they're just
honestly,
I feel like they're all Greg from finance.
Career.
Yeah, I don't think we even can look online to see
unless
we go to their LinkedIn. We have to go to their LinkedIn page.
They're all Greg from finance, and they're all just crunching the numbers
to do that
on how much profit they will. On that's it. Will this break profit? That's all that matters. Greg from finance.
Yep, they all want their bonuses.
For finance, always.
Remember that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 2017 is a testament to them just wanting their bonuses.
Yeah. Oh God! Again, it's like,
what was that referring to?
You could have just Greg and finance, like they could have just gave them. Well, is it technically Man of Steel 2 or would it be Man of Steel 3? Because BVS
it would have been Man of Steel 2.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, they kind of tried to play Batman versus Superman as like a Man of Steel 2, but it wasn't. It really it was because it was also like an intro to Batman, because technically Ben Affleck's Batman didn't get his own Batman movie. So
Let's not even
that was a team up movie. I consider that like an Avengers light. An Avengers light.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's what they try to go for. Granted,
because they brought in Wonder Woman
dropped that year too. So it's like I know what they were going for, what they wanted to compete with, but it's like, the delivery. I mean, listen, you were on the cusp of greatness there. You just did not deliver it, unfortunately. But I mean, listen, they were searching for new writers for Man of Steel 2 because of Knight's busy schedule. Obviously, that's all gone out the window, as we know. James Gunn is now writing the new Superman film. Obviously, there's no director attached, but the Flash director, Andy Muschietti, has shown interest in wanting to direct a Superman film. Obviously, this was reported prior to James Gunn's official Superman film announcement, obviously. So there hasn't been no word on that specifically who they want to direct, but they are actively looking for directors now that the news is essentially out there. But obviously, this film will not be affecting Ta-Nehisi Coates and J.J. Abrams' Superman film, which obviously is most likely going to be focusing on Val Zod, obviously.
I was just about to say, is that movie still on track or no?
Yeah, that's still on track. James Gunn is not touching that. I don't think that's anything that's still coming out of DC that might seem to be running in tandem with James Gunn's DC universe and that he's not essentially overseeing will just exist outside of that. So obviously that leaves a lot of questions for the other titles that we'll mention in a little bit. But yeah, the development on this film is still active, with Coates still writing the script for that movie. Obviously Henry Cavill, again, just to cap this off, has already found another role. I mean, this man, people listen, the dude is in hot demand right now. Netflix dropped the ball. DC also dropped the ball. Prime was like, yo, say what, fam? You free right now? You free right now?
Prime is trying to bring in a lot of big shows and movies.
See, they're not trying. They have. Honestly, again,
Prime also has they have the Fallout,
boys.
Right?
They have Fallout coming out,
which set photos are looking pretty dope.
Yeah,
it looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah, honestly, almost everything Prime has been, like, especially superhero related. Invincible, Vox Machina,
The Boys.
The boys. They are all phenomenal. Like, I think
the Peripheral,
right now Prime has been
the
doing
Peripheral. If anybody's not watching that, please
Oh, see, I need to get to that one. I'm getting to
6 episodes. That is great. I have not finished yet. I've only watched like 4 episodes. It's based on a novel. I never read the novel, but it's basically like there's time travel in it, multiple timelines. You know, dystopia, post-apocalyptic. You're trying to save the world, trying to stop.
It'll confuse the shit out of you, but keep you entertained while it does it.
It is fucking great. It is fucking great. And then the visuals on it, bro, I'm just like, yo, Prime, y'all really got, Jeff Bezos really got y'all stacked. Jeff Bezos really got y'all. Like,
not only rockets, but in streaming.
In streaming, he really got y'all. My $15 every single month is getting.
Hey, Prime is coming for everyone's. They're starting to add more anime. Like they're trying to come for other streaming platforms.
Prime Video is a huge contender, bro. I'm telling you. And listen, they just recently announced the God of War. They got a God of War, bro.
They're trying to get God of War. Yeah, they were like, right off the bat.
Didn't that announce? Like,
they gave it a series order this past week.
They gave it a series.
See, of course, they want to make it off of God of War 4, though. They don't want to do it off of God of War 1,
rather than the which is a little disappointing. I would have wanted
to work your way up in that.
Definitely.
Because that one they could have got like 12 seasons off of it.
Exactly. Because now, listen, you're basing off God of War, 4 and God of War Ragnarok. Obviously, there's only 2 games, and there's only so much lore in those 2 games. Granted, it's extensive Norse mythology lore, obviously, but anything beyond what's in the source material would just be, just the writers going off whatever they want to do with the show at that point.
Yeah, because they could literally make God of War 1, 2, and 3 into like a 12 episode season, because it's easily because it's like it's not that hard to combine those 3 series. Like those, like he becomes the God of War. They take it away from him like 3 episodes later. Then he kills everyone.
All the lore of the games that released in between those 3 major titles.
Oh, those were great too. Bro. Oh my god, yeah. But again, it that would have been the franchise of franchises. Honestly, it's still to this day one of my favorite franchises. Like it's. And I love Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts with a passion, and I'm almost done with it. But God of War demolishes Kingdom Hearts, like by far. That's how good that franchise is. And so I'm just saying. But
listen, if God of War ends up being dope, like let's just pretend they give it the budget, the action, the CG, the monsters, they all look good, right? And the fighting is good. I need me a Devil May Cry. If that's successful, I need me a Devil May Cry.
I'm gonna tell you why God of War for Prime Video is gonna be super successful.
Why?
They got the showrunner for the Wheel of Time to work on the show.
I heard Wheel of Time was really good too, actually. Yeah.
And
a lot of people hate on it. I enjoyed the first season.
Anyone who's watched it and enjoys that kind of fantasy,
I think they did a good job.
We're in for a treat, because I was hooked. I enjoyed Wheel of Time, and I know we didn't review it on here, but maybe we can do that.
I got my wife the book, and she's been enjoying that as well.
Listen, that show was,
make her do a review on the site for us.
Maybe we can do that on the site, but you won't make me write reviews.
Give us a review on the site.
I think she read like 30 books this year so far. She be going through them.
The fuck, does she have like a college reading list?
She's just a very avid reader. She wants to be an author, so she's like a very avid reader.
Fair enough.
No, she's doing homework. She's doing homework.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny. I'm thinking back to our summer reading list we had to do back in school and shit like that. It's like, I have to read these 3 books before I get into class this week and this month.
Your boy lived off Cliff Notes the day before a test. I was 50-50 guessing on those questions.
Yeah, them Cliff Notes used to come in handy though. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, thank God for them.
But so Prime Video is wanting to do. They're trying to finalize talks with Henry Cavill to star in their live action adaptation of Warhammer 40,000.
Nice.
Obviously, it's a huge video gaming franchise that's been around for about 2 decades at this point, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry, maybe Warhammer is kind of like Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff, like all the extra stuff, or Warhammer's the one with like guns and like a hammer, right? I didn't know. I don't remember the game.
It's like a tabletop game, right?
Yeah, it's like a tabletop game. Yeah, but then
you roll dice and stuff like that.
Right, they have other versions of it too for like the consoles and shit like that.
Okay, see, I remember. I kind of
it's more like an RPG shooter, like
RPG oh yeah, okay, there you go. That's what I was trying to remember. I was like, was it the shooter or was it like literally like I'm swinging this hammer?
Well, yeah, they had the tabletop game. Obviously, Henry Cavill being the nerd that he is, he likes to.
Yeah, they got like guns and stuff. Like
exactly. So you got that tabletop stuff, and then you got the actual shooter version of it. for the consoles and things like that, which became super popular too. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are into that game. So I mean, listen, I always wanted to play it, but I never got to play
Listen,
it. But
I
know it's
feel like
been-
I should give it a try one day. Because like I actually tried what do you why am I having a Dungeons and Dragons about like
Right.
5 months ago, and really enjoyed the time, like had a really good time. Definitely want to do that again. So who knows, maybe I'll have to give
I feel like those games,
it a try.
if you have a good little crowd to play
That's
with,
what it takes.
you will have the time of your life. And
Yeah, I was playing with
someone who's
family,
never
so
played,
like it was a nice,
never
chill,
played it, but-
relaxing, no judgment free zone for newcomers because we were all family. So
right.
it was a dope time.
No, that's cool. It's always good to play with people like that. But yeah, moving on from that, Jason Momoa, man, who should have been, cast as this character from the beginning, but wasn't. Yeah, his days of Aquaman are essentially over at this point.
Did they confirm that, or is this all still rumor?
It's still rumored, I think.
This is all still rumored at this point. But Momoa has teased it a little bit, that he's super excited to work with James Gunn. Him and Gunn have talked about plans. His favorite comic book character is Lobo. He's gone out of his way to collect every single Lobo issue that's ever been released by DC Comics. And, obviously the fans have always been very, very vocal about Momoa should have been cast as Lobo from the get-go. Like he has the looks, he has the attitude, he has the body for it. I mean, the dude
True.
Just looks like Lobo.
He definitely has the attitude of Lobo. He definitely could he can embody that like persona.
Yeah, right. He can finally drink Guinness on set and not be yelled at and shit because he doesn't have his 6-pack anymore and shit.
Right, exactly.
Oh my god! But like, I think
No,
I was gonna say, I was like, if that happens, cool. You know what I mean? It sucks to see. Honestly, I like his Aquaman.
I like his Aquaman too.
I actually do like his Aquaman, and I like it so much to the. And listen, DC even liked it so much to the point they integrated his Polynesian background into the comics. So it's like, I like his version of Aquaman. But listen, if that's not what they want anymore, what can I do? And honestly, Aquaman 2. I don't think a lot of people were going to be super invested in it anyway.
I don't think anyone's going to be invested into any of the upcoming DC movies but at least until Batman 2. I don't think anyone's going to be excited.
Well, I think it was tainted a little bit with the whole Amber Heard situation because a lot of people have been very vocal about
for sure
her court issue.
Does anybody even remember that though anymore?
Yes.
No, just reminded everyone.
Yeah,
bro, have you not been on social media, bro?
Yeah,
bro, it's like, yo, bro, it's never ending.
Listen,
never ending.
in all fairness, Avi, in all fairness, Ed does not live the Twitter life.
Oh, wait, one of you two. What do you? Oh, wait, one at a time.
He said you don't live. He said you don't live the Twitter life. You need to. You need to. A lot of shit comes out of Twitter. Very entertaining.
Maybe I'll think about it, guys.
I feel like we should keep him innocent away from Twitter.
Nah, I think so too. Matter of fact, for your sanity.
Yeah, for your sanity,
2023,
we will suffer for you. Okay, we'll suffer the dark.
I'm not rushing. I'm not going to rush.
And we'll just let you know. We'll filter everything down.
He's going to jump on Twitter once it's dead. It's completely dead. Nobody's using Twitter anymore. Everybody's on Hive and shit.
Yeah, that's an Elon Musk problem though. Like, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you were on Twitter, you would think the trial was just literally yesterday.
Yeah. And still going. And still going.
Yeah, and still going. It's been going on for like a year.
Some people don't let it go.
But yeah, listen, but yeah, back to Aquaman. Like, a lot of people aren't really interested in that. But obviously, with the whole reboot thing, like Boozer was saying, a lot of people are not going to be interested.
Yeah, because a lot of people are just projects. Like, if these people are getting like recasted and stuff like that, then why should I even care about this movie? Now, I personally, I'm like 50-50. Like, I get that, and like I kind of feel the same way. Like, why should I have any investment in these movies? But at the end of the day, these movies are so loosely connected to a shared universe. They're basically standalone movies. So I feel like I can at least enjoy it. Aquaman is like a second installment of Aquaman, Aquaman 1. I don't really have to feel like, I'm going to be sad if we, losing, Jason Momoa as Aquaman. But like, I feel like I can still enjoy the movie for what it is. Yeah. But like, I just have to think of it as this is just a standalone Aquaman movie and its sequel. That's it. I can't really think of it as anything shared.
There's a lot
because then it gets a little more disappointing.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. The Amber Heard thing, that's one. Momoa, James Gunn rebooted the entirety of the DCEU. Not to mention Yahya Abdul-Mateen is now playing Wonder Man for Marvel. So it's like, Marvel likes to cast it, have the actors for multi-picture contracts. So it's like, nothing. It is what it is. I mean, it's logical at this point. So, but yeah, I mean, Jason Momoa seems excited for whatever the future is going to bring for him in terms of working under James Gunn's umbrella. So, I mean, if he's excited, then listen.
Hey, yeah.
I'm excited. I like Jason Momoa. Listen, I've been watching Momoa for about a decade and shit. So I'm excited to see what they do with him in any capacity, whether it be keeping him as Aquaman or bringing him as Lobo and give him the Lobo solo film, have him fight against Superman.
And the beautiful thing about Lobo, though, honestly, he still be Lobo and Aquaman at the same time, because Lobo is very makeup up, like,
Oh yeah, he's
you know what I mean? It's more about his demeanor, his attitude, you know what I mean? Everything about that. That's what makes Lobo. And again, Lobo is like a completely different type of alien. You should be able to sit them next to each other and not tell them apart. You know what I mean? Well, and tell them apart, obviously, because you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you should not be able to say like, hey, these guys are the same guy, because they're two different characters.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know what I mean? Exactly. Well, actually, at least in this, Aquaman technically would probably party hard with Lobo in general, because we saw them we saw them in the saw him partying hard with
there are times where they've made Lobo more ambiguous and less like not villain.
Oh yeah, he was a part of the Justice League.
I was about to say that too. He's been on the Justice League before.
Yeah, so it's like he was on their special roster and shit.
Batman specific. What is it? Justice League of America.
It was Justice League of America. Yeah, Justice League of America. Yeah, JLA.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was a fun inclusion. Having him on that team was super fun. So hey, listen, it's doable. It's doable. They can do whatever they want with Lobo.
Exactly.
Now Wonder Woman and the future, obviously, that's basically out the window at this point. We don't know what they're gonna do with Gal Gadot, even though execs at WB are like, we still want to do something with Gal Gadot. I mean, she is our Wonder Woman, but
I think the frustrating thing is like I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and I like why am I for Shazam? Why am I having a brain stop right now?
For Shazam?
Adam Levy?
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi.
Why did I say Adam Levy?
Zachary Levi as Shazam. I absolutely
Instagram models, bro. You gotta stop.
I absolutely love Zachary Levi as Shazam, and like I want them to stay those characters. But on the other hand, I'm like, if you're going to not use Henry Cavill for Superman, then like you must be recasting everyone, right? Like it's just I'm not sure
here's
what
the thing
they're planning,
with Zach Levy, he never technically met Henry Cavill's Superman yet.
Yeah.
They're technically in the universe, but
technically he never met anyone.
Theoretically, he did though.
It was the suit.
He met Superman with no head.
It was the suit. He never.
He met a
him.
Superman.
But he met Superman.
Yeah, he met a Superman.
But yeah,
plot twist in all this is Nicolas Cage's Superman.
But yeah, I mean Shazam. That's to my example. Shazam is definitely one of like the most like loosely like in universe movies. Like the only thing you see is like the batarang.
The batarang from
that Billy had, and like that's pretty much it. And then like a news article like when he picked it up, like that's pretty much it. And then even like the merchandise when he like was in the
store.
The store was all like comic book themed. Like it was all like the comic book.
It was the comic book versions of the characters.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
See, I will have to say this though. Like I get it. No, it's true. I can agree with like they look very loosely based, like in the same world, and that's the good way of looking at it when we want them to be completely separate and be like, hey, leave them be. Don't. It's fine. We can mix this up a little bit, right? But in the comic book world too, we both know that, you know what I mean? Like we've seen plenty of stories that, all it takes is that one issue to actually bring someone else in there to say like, hey, we are a part of the same universe. Because here's the thing, just like, hey, I'm in Raleigh in North Carolina, you're in freaking Trenton, New Jersey, freaking two different worlds. What my day in the life is completely different than yours. So everything that happens in freaking over by where's Shazam at right now? Damn, that's a good trivia question, by the way.
That is a very good trivia question.
Where does he live?
Circuit City, not Circuit City. No, not circus.
No, you're
circus.
thinking about the retail
It's
store, come back to
oh my God,
2022. Come back
it's
to
something
2022.
city. Something city.
It's not Star City. Is it Star
no,
City?
nope.
No, it's not Star City. That's where Hal Jordan is at, isn't it?
It's not, I feel like it's something with the train. Fucking hell, guys, let us know in the YouTube comments. But you know, because they're gonna Google it anyway, you're cheaters. So
Right.
but at least you're watching us. So they're in there.
Calling them a cheater when we would have Googled it anyway.
I know we want to go. He's
Googling
it right now.
It's in Philadelphia.
Fawcett City. Fawcett City.
Fawcett. Is it Fawcett?
It wasn't Fawcett?
Shazam is set in Philadelphia, but filmed in Toronto.
No, well, no, not literally.
Well,
like I meant like the comic book. Where's this comic book?
The comic city.
Fawcett City, isn't it?
Yeah, FAWCETT City.
Fawcett City, yep.
Fawcett City.
Yeah, it just came to mind when I got the it was just like the nerves, right? But okay.
Fawcett City, Indiana in the comics.
See, obviously Indiana is going to look way brighter than everywhere else. You know what I mean? It's not going to be Gotham. You know, you're not going to get all the death and grime. So that's what I always say. Like, honestly, like because I'm like, I've read plenty of comic books to know that the worlds are so separate. That's the reason why they can have a 20 issue series, because it's like, they're not hanging out with Batman's rogues. They're not literally in this city of crime and death. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But yes, in the movie world and what we're trying to build here in this DCEU, they can literally recast and bring them somewhere else. You know what I mean? And keep the ones that they want to keep. You know, and I can agree with that. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, that's a very valid point, which is why we do the show.
Appreciate.
But yeah, there's a lot of conflicting reports, and at this point, Patty Jenkins has essentially cleared the air as to what's true, what's not true, regarding the status of Wonder Woman 3. So obviously that movie is essentially canceled, confirmed at this point that this movie is not happening. So the initial report was that she got essentially fired, quote unquote, from the movie because she turned in her initial script and it was rejected. And she refused to rewrite it after being asked or offered the opportunity to rewrite it. So due to those creative differences, she was like, peace, fuck this, I'm out. But that's not what essentially happened, according to Jenkins' statement, which I'm not going to read, super long. Go read it on the Nerdy Basement.
Do you have the Spark Notes? No Spark Notes of it? No, just saying it didn't happen. That's all it was, right? It wasn't what they said. Got it.
Essentially. The gist of the entire piece was to confirm or deny, essentially, the report that was put out by the Hollywood Reporter, which stated that she had gotten fired from the film, walked away, whatever the case may be, because she was asked to rewrite the script and she refused to do so, which she said that's not true. She was willing to work with James Gunn and Peter Safran to rewrite the script. That she was open to doing whatever was requested of her to get Wonder Woman 3 off the ground. Unfortunately, there was conflicting ideas, and she just decided, you know what, I'm just going to walk away. She also went on to give a status update on Rogue Squadron, which is a movie that she was obviously announced by Lucasfilm and Disney to be directing. She announced why she walked away from that film the first time, because, it was conflicting schedules between directing that movie and directing Wonder Woman 3. The more she waited on Rogue Squadron to get off the ground running, the longer it would have taken her to get Wonder Woman 3, written and filmed.
Hollywood Reporter's taking a lot of L's, yo. It's like this week especially.
Yeah, man.
They used to be somebody. I'm just saying, like, pay attention to the Nerdy Basement.
But yeah, so she's essentially saying that she worked out a new deal with Lucasfilm and Disney. Is now, since she left Wonder Woman 3, she's gonna essentially go back to working on Rogue Squadron. So she essentially at this point said, you know what, fuck that. You guys are gonna be rebooting anyway. There's nothing for me to do here. That door is closed.
That's smart of her. Well, not smart.
She was the closest to getting a threequel.
Yeah,
closest one.
Very close
to getting her trilogy.
And then the funny thing is, according to that report from the Hollywood Reporter, she was her ego was quote unquote, and this is not me saying it, and the Hollywood Reporter didn't outright say this either. This is the gist of how they worded worded their article, essentially saying her ego got hurt, and she went and emailed the execs at WBD a link to Wikipedia to the definition of character arc.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I'm just like, if true, which obviously she does not mention in her statement, if true, oof.
That's a level of petty, if true.
If true.
I think that's a matter of like, you only go that petty when someone has pushed you so far.
Exactly. So I'm like, if true, oof. But then again, I don't know. This is not the first time she walks away from a project because of creative differences due to her script. Because it was the same thing with Marvel, because she was brought on to direct Thor: The Dark World, and Marvel didn't like her script, essentially her Romeo and Juliet style script or story that she wanted to do for Thor: The Dark World, which, given how The Dark World turned out, I don't know,
probably would have been better.
I like the concept. I don't want to get into this right now. Continue.
Execution was bad for her. There was good possibility, just bad execution.
Yeah, there was some good possibilities there. Listen, Thor: Love and Thunder makes The Dark World look like a masterpiece. I'll tell you that much.
Well, very fair. There it is. Ragnarok almost did the same thing, by the way.
Ragnarok is really close up there too.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed that shit.
You whack. I don't care that people enjoyed it. I just know I did it. So simple.
I mean, I enjoyed bits and pieces of it, but we're not talking about Marvel right now. We're talking about Patty Jenkins and her history of walking away from projects. And listen, as a director, writer, producer, whatever the case may be, you're the talent at the end of the day. The studio. Yeah, you want to find work. You want to, expand your resume as a creative, but you, at the end of the day, you are the talent. The studio is paying you to bring a vision to life, or to write bring a concept to life, an idea to life. So if you feel like, listen, I'm not getting my money's worth here, or I'm not being taken seriously, then just whatever, walk the fuck away. I mean,
and no one wants to put out a vision that's like they're not happy with.
Exactly. I mean, listen, granted, Wonder Woman 1984 was not the best story-wise. Wasn't the best follow-up sequel to the first movie, which listen, the first Wonder Woman movie was fucking great. Yep. The second one just fell a little flat, unfortunately. But that's what happens in the world of storytelling. Not everything is gonna hit, unfortunately. But listen, that's how the cookie crumbled between WBD and Patty Jenkins, and it is what it is. Hopefully, Lucasfilm and Disney see this as an opportunity to kind of get the ball rolling a little more on Rogue Squadron, because I know a lot of people were excited about that, myself included. We never got a show or a film that was truly dedicated to the pilots of the Star Wars universe. So that was something I was really, really interested in seeing, because I think it would have brought something fresh.
Yeah, that would be super dope to see.
But yeah, moving on from that though, Batman Beyond. Apparently there was a Batman Beyond film that was heavily in the works. Heavily. By heavily, I mean they had a full story already going for it. The script was in the process of being written by Christina Hodson, who obviously wrote Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of the One Harley Quinn. That's a fucking mouthful.
I had a fun time though. I had a fun time with that movie. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Christina Hodson also wrote Bumblebee, which I fucking enjoyed.
I had never watched Bumblebee.
Oh, Bumblebee was dope. I like.
You never watched Bumblebee?
I threw that shit up on streaming.
Okay, one at a time.
I was expecting bare minimum. And that shit was hella enjoyable.
Bro, that opening sequence on Cybertron, Gen 1, bro.
See, all right, which one? Where is it on now? It's on like.
I don't know. I don't know where it's at.
I'll look if
maybe
I don't
it's
have
on
to
something.
pay. If I don't have to pay for the rental or whatever, like
just buy it. It's worth it.
Nah,
so good. It's so good. So good. So good.
Honestly, the first Transformers movie I probably might buy.
If you'll buy the first Transformers, you'll buy Bumblebee.
No, I didn't buy the first one.
No, I said if you plan to buy, if you think you'll buy Transformers 1, you'll buy Bumblebee.
Oh no, I was going to say the Beast Wars, Rise of the right. No, I'm just calling it
Beast
Transformers.
It's Beast Wars.
It's simple as that. It's Beast Wars. That's the only reason why I'm going to watch it again.
To go on to build off that a little bit, go on a quick tangent. Why the fuck did they not just name that Beast Wars?
No idea.
Why? I can only hope it's some kind of like licensing agreement but I have no idea.
I would
who
not
knows?
be surprised.
It was there.
If there's nothing, if who knows? We know how rights go with TV and figures and movies.
It was literally there.
There could be TV rights because they did do a recent like reboot. Didn't they do like a recent? Yeah, they did like a new Beast Wars. My friend was telling me about it.
They implemented that story. They implemented that storyline in the Netflix animated.
Netflix. They did the Beast Wars.
So there was like a new one. So again, who knows?
It wasn't called Beast Wars.
It wasn't called Beast Wars.
It's Cybertron. No, it's Cybertron War. It was Transformers Cybertron War Part 3 or some shit.
It was Cybertron War Part 3, but Part 3, but the subtitle has something with Earth Core or something like this.
Some shit. Yeah, you're probably right.
Like that.
Yeah, it was a long title. But
yeah,
but that one was amazing. I love that series.
Excluding any rights issues. If they had the rights to it and they didn't name it Beast Wars, what the fuck y'all doing?
They're literally going into the show and just like grabbing what they want and throwing it on screen.
Quite literally.
And you're not taking the name too?
Hold up. If I get a sassy rat trap in this.
Oh my god, they didn't even show us Rat Trap.
They didn't, and I hope they don't. Because if he's in there,
he's in the movie.
He better be in the movie. The Beast. Remember, think about it.
I better get like a Rocket Raccoon level sassy rat trap, and
he's confirmed. He's confirmed to be in the movie. They didn't show him in the trailer, but he's confirmed.
And then
they did announce his voice actor. I don't remember. I think
the only other character I need is I forget his name. Who was the he was like a Waspinator or something, the one that always got like destroyed.
I love him.
And like always got launched into
oblivion.
It was
him and Pterosaur.
Yeah,
Waspinator and Pterosaur always got rocked.
I need those two on like the.
The crazy part is they were supposed to both be so Pterosaur was supposed to become a transmetal back in the thing, because if you notice him like falling into lava, he was glowing. He was supposed to become he was supposed to be transmetal, and then Waspinator got stuck in that room or whatever, and then that's why he didn't become transmetal. So it was just like the Beast Wars could have been something different too. Hilarious,
dude.
I love that series. Best series, one of the best series ever.
It was so dope. But yeah.
So wait, what happened?
Listen, that
we were talking about Rogue Squadron, and somehow got to Beast Wars.
No, that tangent only started because Christina Hodson is tied to Bumblebee.
Oh yeah.
Beast Wars.
That just added.
Yeah, Beast Wars is supposedly a sequel to Bumblebee.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
All right. So I'll watch Bumblebee. If that's the case, I'll watch Bumblebee just to see it go on.
But because the thing is, you wouldn't know that unless you would read the report that came out, because Paramount did not announce it as a direct sequel to Bumblebee. They just announced that, we're doing an entirely new Transformers film.
Oh, I'm just quoting you. I'm literally quoting you right now. You're my source.
You can watch it on Paramount Plus, Hulu, Amazon Prime.
Okay, cool. Hulu, I have it. All right, Hulu is free too,
watch it. Yeah, and it's free. Yep.
Hulu should be free then. All right. Well, I'll watch it.
Watch it this weekend. If you don't have plans.
I have plenty of plans.
I'm sure you do. You got this.
Actually, World Cup. World Cup first off. Actually,
bro, World Cup has been fire. But anyway, we'll talk about that in the group chat. We'll talk about that in the group chat. But yeah, anyway, Christina Hodson.
Sports ball.
Yeah, it was
sports ball. I hate you, Boozer. I love it though. Continue. Yes.
Christina Hodson was writing the script for the Batman Beyond film, which would have starred Michael Keaton and reportedly would have starred Michelle Pfeiffer as well as Catwoman. Which would have been obviously bringing it back full circle and exploring their romance from those films back in the day.
They would have made their budget and then tripled it easily. Like that's how
the only thing that would have made that movie.
I feel like it would have worked though, but I'll let you guys.
The only thing that would have made that movie absolute like rough to watch is like they would need to commit to like a the suit would have to be like a material suit, kind of like Superman's material, like. It couldn't be like armor, like Iron Man armor. I can only imagine them probably doing some like overly designed, like the skin in Arkham, like the Batman Beyond skin in Arkham, which is just his like armored up stuff with just like a faceplate over the mouth. I could imagine them doing something like that, and just the suit being hot garbage, but it really would have to feel like a organic like cloth like suit, but like it still has like techie stuff in it.
I feel like if they would
that would be the only way that would work.
like a nanite type design.
Yeah, that would be
Yes.
great.
That would probably be the best route to go.
I just
Let
worry
me see if I can
like
find
them
it.
not being in the right mindset right now and totally
Yeah.
doing something stupid.
And honestly, right now, I think they're happy to have people like excited for projects that might never, ever come out. Because think about it, all the hype we made that Michael Keaton was being in Flash, to then all of a sudden be like, oh my God, they could do Batman Beyond. And then they started everybody throwing out shit on social media and all that kind of stuff, talking about it. Then all of a sudden they're like, okay, let's just keep our name in the freaking in the polls right now and shit like that to keep people like interested. That's all I feel. I literally feel like they just been doing that to make themselves relevant still, because they feel like they can't compete with Marvel.
If they're ever going to do a Batman Beyond movie, they got to use Michael Keaton. Like, that's just got to be the Bruce.
Honestly, again, it could have been freaking Batfleck. It could have been any Batman. It could be any.
I mean, they could have aged him up. Like, they could age him up pretty heavily. That's
and honestly, given that Batfleck, well, he's Ben Affleck, is much younger still than Michael Keaton. And don't get me wrong, Ben Affleck did have that much older Bruce Wayne, that experienced Bruce Wayne look. They could have pulled it off with Ben Affleck if they wanted to.
Yeah,
they could have done either or.
Even then, it still wouldn't have worked because we didn't get no introduction to Terry McGinnis. You know what I mean? Like
we never got no time jump. That was the main thing. We needed time jump.
You needed that time jump. You needed to introduce Terry McGinnis.
You could just do a standalone Batman Beyond movie.
You could.
It's in the future. It's in the future. Either way, it's got to be separate from everything because it's in the future.
This would have spun out. This would have spun out of not just the Flash, but also Batgirl. So it's like it also begs the question: would they have changed, Terry McGinnis to a female character? Like, would have done the gender swap instead? Would have we do have Batwoman Beyond. Like, there's not like this is something that's not in the source material. What was that something they considered as well, as opposed to just?
Yeah. I think if they ever do a Batman Beyond movie, they should just do a standalone because it's so far ahead in the future.
I think it works as just a standalone.
Yeah, because you can cast whatever older Superman. You can cast whatever they had. I forgot what it was for like Green Lantern. So you can cast these like characters that we're never really going to see again outside of this future, like far in the future
this future
world. So like I feel like it easily, I mean, if we're still doing a Joker 2 that's like a standalone movie, you can just make a Batman.
Let's not even get into that. Hold on, wait. I want to see like,
so why is that happening again?
Can you see the synthetic right here, by the way?
Oh yeah, the synthetic.
This is that's the best way you can probably pull
that's still a little overly designed for me.
Yeah,
I feel like it should be
streamline it a little bit. If they streamline it, it looks like a little.
I feel like the suit should look like a Superman suit without like the Superman. Like it should be like a cloth-like suit or like a rubbery cloth-like suit, but it's actually like nanite technology and stuff like that. I feel like it should be that close to the body. I just feel like that's overly mechanical. I mean, if you remember, the design in the animated show is very simple.
End up looking like the Arkham.
It's all black with a red logo, like it's a very.
Well, of course, yeah, it's very simple. It's
but I just feel especially with the mouth moving, I don't know what they would do there, but like,
this is a new one. I never seen this one before.
I like that more. I like that better than the other one.
Guys, I don't.
Again, it looks more like a.
I'll let you guys know this is a Google search. I'm literally just seeing these things. So I if you guys know these artists, tag them, let us know. I'm fine with that. I'm not saying this, any of us are ours. All right, I'm just throwing it out there.
But like something like that is a great for me.
Disclaimer.
That's a great start for me because I feel like it should look like a material than an armor or like
Yeah, I feel you.
I feel you. Because then you run the risk of it looking like an Iron Man. You run the risk of it looking like
Arkham,
too much like the Arkham Batman suit, or even looking.
Well, the Arkham was also trying to fit. Yeah, Arkham Knight, Arkham suits were like trying to fit Bruce. They weren't fitting a teenager.
Exactly. Yeah, so you would have gotten those vibes instead. But listen, I mean, we've talked about Batman Beyond on this podcast before, so it's not like we haven't talked about Batman Beyond and how they can do it and the possibility of them doing it. It looks like they were trying to do it, but it just listen, the way things are going right now, honestly, it wouldn't have worked, and I would have hated to be on a podcast or report on the Nerdy Basement to some degree that listen, a Batman Beyond film did not do good in live action. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, there's so many movies that I'm so glad we didn't pod about. / also like I don't think there's plenty of movies I could say that I'm glad that I didn't have to pod about yet. So if at least for the attempt, I could have probably said like, all right, this, all right. You know what I mean? Right now we've gotten a lot of attempts and we've been talking about them. So you know what I mean? What it is, you know what I mean?
We'll have to wait and see.
We gotta see.
But yeah, moving on to Walter Hamada's Crisis on Infinite Earths film plan. Sounds fun. You know, this is a film that would have featured Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, and honestly, this film would have been the official return of Henry Cavill as Superman if it would have saw the light of day.
Wait, and time out, by the way, if they had this idea, that means everyone can stay, and then when it gets rebooted, everyone changes.
Right.
This is legitimately how the reboot could happen, and it can at least give everyone a send-off.
Yeah, they're clearly just going, we're just gonna reboot everything, and there's no like they could have made a movie that would have probably made a lot of money to then reboot what they want to reboot and change. And it still made sense.
As crappy as the CW's adaptation was of Crisis on Infinite Earths was, listen, that's how you would essentially reboot the entirety of a universe.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. By the way, I'm just saying. Well, that wasn't part of the Infinite Earths, man. But actually, kind of was. But John,
what is he not being told to run?
Well, all Barrys are supposed to run. That's the whole point of a Flash,
man. Run, Barry, run.
But yeah, it's
unless you're Ezra Miller, then you got to just tell yourself you can do this.
Oh my god!
I will say, I that's like the one time I love that scene. By the way, I just wanted to hear. What's his name from the CW, because I love his voice too.
Tom Cavanaugh.
Just saying, run, Barry, run.
Run.
Again,
every time we talk about the fight, it hurts. You know, me as bro, it hurts.
It hurts you more because you're like just binging it now. You're catching.
Bro, it's not even the fact that I'm just binging it now and I'm almost done with the 8th season. It's just the fact, the Flash is what really got me to enjoy, not just Batman. You know, Batman got me into DC in general, Justice League and all that. But when it came to the comic book side of DC, Flash was my start. That's what reeled me in. The Speed Force, you know what I mean? This is the character. The Flash is my Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So
Fair
it's
enough.
like,
man,
it's like when I see the show and I see I get these news and I'm like, you have no idea how great it hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts. And I say that at home all the time, and I'm just like, I know I sound like a broken record, and I'm always complaining about the Flash. I'm like a battered woman and shit.
I don't know if Yaya says this to you, but like Pam tells me all the time. She was like, "Why do you still keep on watching this?"
No,
and I'm like,
she tells me that all the time.
I'm like, I just have to finish it.
I have to finish it too. I'm so far behind.
I'm too invested.
I'm so far. I think I'm like 3 seasons behind on Flash. I did finish Arrow. I'm like 2 seasons behind on Supergirl.
Bro, the pandemic lockdown was the best time in the world because I
caught up on so much anime during that time.
I watched
so much anime.
I rewatched the entirety of Arrow, from season all the way to season 8.
Yeah, I got to the end.
I rewatched the entirety of Black Lightning. I rewatched the Flash seasons 1 through 7 for the 5th time. Addicting. Okay, started watching Supergirl. It was the best time of life. It was the best time of life.
Oh, and then Legends of Tomorrow, I gotta finish. I'm like 3
that I never got into. Unfortunately,
Legends was so much fun. Honestly, once it passed season 1, season 2 and on were the best because of the fact that they started letting themselves make fun of the show. Yeah, they made fun of they didn't.
I mean, Constantine alone is like.
He was so good. I feel like they kind of let I think he kind of let them write him off a little too whatever, but I enjoyed Constantine was great.
I enjoyed the hell out of Constantine. The only thing that's annoying about that show is they wrote characters that have too good of abilities that could solve too many problems.
Oh yeah, and they dumbed
had
them down like
what's his name? The smart guy that could turn metal.
Oh,
I know you're talking about. I forgot his name.
Steel,
Commander Steel.
He could turn strong in metal, and like they wrote him out of like so many instances where like his metal, him being metal,
he's like Colossus.
Like he could turn that Colossus. Could fix a lot of physical problems that they didn't really like once solved.
Honestly, half the time he would always get hurt before he turned metal for some reason, and
or he would just be written and he would not be near the action. They would write him away from the action, so he can't help in that, and he has to like do something because he's a smart guy. He would have to do something that.
Well, what's funny?
They wrote him away from the battles a lot.
Yeah, he was only smart as a historian. He wasn't even like super scientist smart, but it was.
But I mean, the show is about time traveling.
Of course,
so
and it was like that's why he was a historian. And but then it was like even like with the Atom, they made Brandon Routh's like Atom so kind of dumbed down and like quirky. I'm like, he was fun to watch, but it was also like, I'm like, you could do so much more. Like,
I think they didn't know how to handle causing problems that couldn't get solved easily by one of the characters' powers, because they had such a variety of powers, and some were pretty stronger than others in certain circumstances. I just feel like that was the problem with the show, is just like they were like, we need villains and issues each episode to put them in, and they're like, let some of these powers solve those issues easily.
They literally took away Firestorm, one of the biggest powers in DC.
Yeah, they had to take away Firestorm.
They split him up for almost the whole season, and then they sent him away after.
Because Firestorm. When I saw that character introduced, I was like, that's gonna be a problem because he's pretty strong.
Honestly, half of it is their budget on CGI. That was the major reason. Honestly, that's the logistical reason. They just couldn't do the CGI.
The same thing with the Ray. Didn't they have the Ray on the show for like a couple episodes? And they're like, you know what?
Oh no, was the Ray on it?
Wasn't the Ray
for like 2 episodes?
Like 2 episodes. He was on there for like 2 episodes. You
probably might be right.
I think it was for like 2 episodes.
It was like 2 episodes, and then
it became an animated series.
You're getting an animated series.
Yes. So it's like we get it. I get it. CW, you can't really afford it.
They did the same shit with Vixen. Wasn't Vixen on like 1 episode? They were like, you know what, animated series.
Wait, Vixen
was on Arrow. I want to say Arrow or Flash.
I think it was like Arrow or Flash.
What was Vixen's abilities?
She can turn it.
She gets the strength of the spirit of the.
Oh no, she was on the show for a while.
She was on a whole like 2 seasons. Yeah, she was on a whole 2 seasons.
Was she?
Yeah.
Now how many? But again,
the way they utilized her powers. Like she could have chosen better animals. You have the ability.
Yeah, you have the whole animal kingdom.
I blame a lot of the writing. Again, they put themselves into situations that. I just recently saw a video on this. It was, I forget what the trope is, but I think it's like the stupid character trope or something like that, where they purposely dumb down characters, so because they've written themselves in a corner, and it feels very off because you're like, I can tell that character's being dumber than they should be, at least how it's written in this world. Like they're just not acting normal. Then that's what that show had a big problem with, is like the stupid character arc where they just had to keep dumbing people down or dumbing powers down.
But then like by season 3 they just all accepted the dumbing down. They just had a good time. And then like when you like they took their main storyline and they knew, hey, we have 6 episodes of a great storyline. All these other shit is filler, and we're going to have a great time, and it will flow into it, but it's not going to pertain anything to the main story. And that's how they ran it. And I think that's the reason why it worked. It was like, you're like, main story. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Oh, here's your filler episodes. You're gonna all right. Oh my god, we're back to the main story. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh. Thank you. Finale.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
The trope is idiot plots. That's what it is.
Oh, it makes sense. Idiot plots. Totally makes sense. And that's exactly what they were. That's why they didn't make it into any, like, that's why they had only single characters from their story, from their show into crossing over into like Flash, Arrow, and all the other series.
Yeah, they only bring like the part, like the Atom and shit.
Yeah, like Atom was a big one. That's about it. Like, and then obviously White Canary, because she was sister of Black Canary. That's the only reason why she ever made the crossovers. Okay,
but yeah, so back to
let's get back into this.
So this We apologize for the tangent. That was super fun. We just love doing those.
I should mark this in the thing. Be like, you want to hear this tangent?
That was a good CW tangent, though.
That was. But yeah, so Walter Hamada's Crisis on Infinite Earths. So each film that was set to release in 2023 would have served as a tie-in and set up for this massive film to some degree. Whether that would have been post-credit scene, whether it been something included in the main story of the film, that will be up to whatever Walter Hamada had it written in the files over at Warner Brothers before he left. But Ben Affleck is in talks to at least to come back to DC, at least in the form of a director. He met with James Gunn this past week in LA, showing interest and wanted to direct an upcoming DC project.
Better be a Batman film.
DC wants the same thing. It better be some sort of Batman something. Because listen, the man didn't want to direct his own Batman film, and we were kind of robbed.
This is just quick, but I assume that because Pattinson's Batman is separate, I assume they're gonna have another Batman.
They will have another Batman.
I would only assume
they're gonna have.
They would have to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Michael Keaton is essentially out. If I'm not mistaken, the last report was that they took out his cameo out of Aquaman. No, they took out Ben Affleck's cameo out of Aquaman, and then they took out Henry Cavill's cameo out of The Flash. So obviously, it's essentially not to promise the fans something.
Someone leak those cameos, please.
No, they're here for the big leagues and shit. That's not the big leagues. Yo, that fucking quote, bro. That quote is something else. But yeah,
I it's one of those things where I'm like, source? You got that on video?
They were sourcing Deadline. They were sourcing Deadline, but I didn't see anything from Deadline stating that line. So I'm just like,
yeah, that don't sound like something The Rock is cooking to me.
Yo,
The Rock is like he wants to cook so much with that character. I don't see him declining anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just to confirm your thing with the Batman. So yeah, essentially Matt Reeves and James Gunn together took to Twitter to confirm essentially again that James Gunn has nothing to do and will not be involved with anything Batman related coming from Matt Reeves.
That will which I think is good. Like this is one of the few times where I'm like
Matt Reeves only, and then the other producers at
let's keep it separate. Let's keep it separate, baby.
Yeah, because the report, the reason they came out is because to confirm that was because Variety dropped a report stating that James Gunn specifically was considering absorbing Matt Reeves' Batman.
I saw that and I was like,
and I'm just like,
come on, son.
I'm like, how many times we got to do this rodeo, bro? It's like you guys are Hollywood trades running dumbass scoops like this. You would expect some shit like this from like a regular Twitter insider, you know what I'm saying? Like a YouTuber and scooper or some shit. Who,
that's like trying to get some clicks. Yeah.
Trust me, bro. You know what I mean? Like one of those folks. You would expect that from one of them. Not a Hollywood trade, which is why these past weeks has been utter chaos because these are reports coming out of Hollywood trades. They're not coming from Twitter insiders. They're not coming from scoopers.
Yo, James Gunn has been tagged in so much shit. Like debunk this.
It's fucking insane, bro. Like
fans mentions are lit up,
bro. Not even Grace Randolph has been on fucking social media touting bullshit like this for these past couple of weeks. It's like, bro, like you would expect that for someone like her who quote unquote has the tea. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. Hollywood trades, you gotta do better, bro. You gotta do better. But yeah, so essentially, last few beats here for this James Gunn situation. We asked this earlier. What happens with Peacemaker? Obviously, he's not gonna cancel that shit. What happens to his Suicide Squad?
The good thing about Suicide Squad, you can add new characters and to kill them off literally right after.
He literally killed off the original team from the 2016 films.
Yeah.
Speaking of Suicide Squad, I gotta say this. Please, for the love of God, can we keep Harley?
I think she's too profitable. Nowhere. Yeah, she is the most profitable.
Margot, especially if she can get a movie with her and we get Poison Ivy.
She
If
came out
she can
recently
make
to
that
say that
happen,
she's been
legend.
campaigning for that. So
Yep.
listen, I think under
Legend.
James Gunn's leadership, that's more plausible and more
Yeah.
possible than with any other executive.
Yeah,
at
fair
WB.
point.
And listen, James Gunn loves Harley Quinn, so he loves working with Margot Robbie. So I mean,
Yeah, if I hear a
can see
recast
it.
on that,
Oh
I
no,
doubt
no,
it.
bro, that will be one recast you will never ever hear until, let's say, Margot Robbie is like 70 years old and she can no longer pull off Harley Quinn. You know what I'm saying? Like
Harley Quinn Beyond.
or
Oh, don't make
28
jokes
Harley
about
Quinn
that,
and shit.
dude. The Sean Murphy's universe. All right, I'm just saying the Murphy universe for Batman White Knight, fucking legit. I'm just throwing it out there. And there is an older Harley. Just saying,
So there
like,
you
but
go.
she's
I'll have to check
but
it
she's
out.
like in her 60s, but she's like 50, 60, so not even.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Maybe she can do it when she like 50, 60. But yeah,
Exactly.
essentially all this is essentially to just close out the essentially what was the current DCEU. Like we mentioned earlier, all the actors will essentially be recast. So essentially the Trinity will be recast.
Yeah.
We don't know what's gonna happen with Blue Beetle. We know Batgirl got canceled. Cameos for upcoming films have been, removed because obviously they're not gonna fulfill those promises anymore. I did, as you can see, there's a half-ass point here that I was trying to write up. So James Gunn does want to introduce Terry McGinnis at some point in his DC universe. Obviously, that's going to lead to Batman.
Are we going to get an
Beyond.
old Batman again?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I just want I mean, we're getting that for the most part with
Pattinson.
But like I feel like even if Reeves goes like a little bit more supernatural and introduces some like Mr. Freeze or Clayface or whatever, if he goes a little more supernatural with villains, it's still not going to go all the way. And I feel like if you're going to have a Batman interacting with the Justice League characters or other superheroes, you gotta have like a fit young doing flippy flips that like a normal human wouldn't be doing Batman. Like I don't want another old Batman. I just don't. Like I want a Batman that looks like he can take a punch from like a supervillain and survive.
The only good thing about introducing Terry McGinnis, he is the young Batman, so you'll get the flippy.
Yeah, but he's using technology from the far future. So how do we get him present day in a bat suit?
You're gonna need a film where, just like Batfleck was introduced as a already grizzly and much older Batman who's been doing Batmaning and vigilantism for 20 plus years. You're gonna have to get introduced to a Batman like off rip.
But do we want a Batman Beyond that doesn't take place in like a far not dystopian, but like a far futuristic society?
And so
do we want a Batman Beyond out of that element?
Yeah.
No, I want a Batman. If you do a Batman Beyond, let's say you introduce Terry McGinnis, that could be your protagonist. That's still your main character. It will be a movie that's set in the future. And the Batman, the older Bruce Wayne that you get there, is already a Bruce Wayne way past his prime, already retired. It's essentially how you're doing it in the animated version.
I guess I just don't know how you introduce Terry McGinnis in like unless like it just being like a new movie. How does Terry McGinnis get introduced into this new cinematic universe?
See, but that's the whole point. It's like they can branch it off. Introduce the new Batman.
And that's fine with me. That's fine with me.
It's going to be in its own like just how the Matt Reeves verse has like broke off and this and that. They'll probably, if you want to keep it more, like, hey, let people be excited seeing that. The new Batman that just came in, let's say Pattinson, right? Pattinson shows up as the old man to Terry McGinnis.
Like they age him up,
they just age him up, but they just say this is
that would make more
trajectory going this way, and then they add in all the Supermans and this and that, or keep him. Hey, this is the Batman Beyond of just the Reeves verse. And this is how we get Batman Beyond. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you could do that with that, because that's the whole thing. Batman Beyond in DC,
because it's so comics, far forward.
He is Earth. Well, no, they're Earth 40 or something. Earth
they're not the main.
They're not, like, they are literally that little stepping stone of Batman does get old and he retires, but he also breaks bridges. You know what I mean? He's the Batman animated series Batman. You know what I mean? They're a completely different world. So it's like that's all it really is. Like, but the Gunverse, as we might as well call it now,
the Gunverse.
They're gonna rebrand it something silly. I know it. I know they're gonna rebrand it something silly.
It has to be. You know what I mean? This is his playground now. It is what it is. We're going to see how it goes. I think, again, it's just how much freaking crazy we got out of it, out of this, something that's supposed to bring joy to so many people, keep us excited.
I just want them to commit to whatever they plan.
It's
just
commit.
No,
I think they will.
Just like Marvel probably didn't expect Ant-Man to be like a huge success, even though like it was pretty successful. But I doubt they were like, yeah, Ant-Man's gonna bop.
Characters, even Iron Man.
Was a
gamble. Whoa, Iron Man was supposed to pop.
That was absolutely a gamble.
John Favreau.
Iron Man was not even
everything.
supposed to pop off. Guardians in 2014 wasn't supposed to pop off. Ant-Man in 2015 wasn't supposed to pop off. And these characters,
Thor definitely probably was like.
Yeah, Thor was definitely
every single one, first two phases, none of them were supposed to be pop off. Simple as that. Like they were like, hey, we're making good money. We're making good money. We're making good money. Wow, we have a fucking universe. Now guess what? Kevin Feige, we're giving you all the power. Do your thing.
Exactly.
Like that Avengers movie, they were like
every fucking character in the world.
That's it. That's all it was.
But yeah, no, I think now with James Gunn and Peter Safran at the helm and concocting this 10-year plan and this new universe, I think they're committed. They're committed to delivering something. And James Gunn has been very vocal about this on Twitter about listen, we know the fans love these characters. Yep. They want these characters done justice. You want someone who's behind the scenes who's also a fan, which is why the MCU has worked out so well, because Kevin Feige is also a fan of the source material. Yeah, is he taking creative liberties when he's introducing these characters in live action? Of course, he wants to make his own unique take and wants to leave his own stamp on the Marvel universe, for eons and eons to come. And James Gunn is going to do the same thing. And obviously we know with Suicide Squad and even with the Guardians movies, he loves those deep dive. He likes to go into the trenches and the archives of those comic books, the comic book source material that he's going to be covering to give you something new and unique. So I think there's a lot of commitment here. I think, and James, I think what's going to attract the fans to this whole new universe is seeing someone who's very vocal with people on social media, because the Marvel doesn't have that. Marvel just has these big events. This is what we're going to do. We have our reputation of what we've done in our first 10 years speaks for itself. We know you're going to gravitate towards it, whether you like the project or not. That's it. We already got that reputation. We got your money anyway. So with somebody like DC, who's been kind of struggling for the past 12, 13 years to get a hold of the fans in a, massive cinematic universe, kind of like Marvel has, having someone who's had success in Marvel and now has found even bigger success in DC to become such a powerhouse in DC and be such a vocal persona person with fans and interacting with them so much. I think that is what really is going to gravitate the fan. Even if they're mad at James Gunn right now, once he delivers that first project under this new banner and people see like, all right, this is a hit. We like what he did. That's it. That's all he needs. He needs that first one. That first project needs to come out the gates running. Needs to be a banger. And it doesn't necessarily need to be, because he's already proved himself with Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. But if you on the feature film side for characters that people have been clamoring for the past 5-10 years, I think you got to come out the gate running. And then I just think all that, the way he's handling everything, the backlash, the praise, the media scandals, essentially, with these reports that we've been talking about for the past hour and change, seeing how he's handled everything and how much care he takes into, debunking certain things, confirming certain things, how certain announcements are made. Like he only announced one project, which is the Superman film. In a couple of weeks, they're going to start announcing maybe the first couple years of projects in the first couple years out of these 10 years that they're going to be working on and whatever. So I think once people start seeing other announcements outside of just Superman stuff and Batman stuff, I think they'll get a little more excited. They'll kind of rally behind them. But
remember when we were supposed to get that Justice League Dark film?
we're not getting Justice League Dark anymore. Don't make me get mad on this pod again, man. Because
see, I think that's what it is. It's just a matter of like all the, hey, we're doing this. Nah, never mind.
Or
hey, we're gonna go do this.
Exactly.
The Green Lantern movie. Oh no, it's gonna be Green Lantern Corps on HBO Max. Oh no,
yeah, but now that's scrapped. Now that the Green Lantern Corps is scrapped. Now that you're doing a John Stewart show, but now James Gunn wants to do a John Stewart movie. So it's like, I mean, he wants to bring characters back like Deathstroke, introduce Terry McGinnis. So you know.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's just been so much of the back and forth. There's no
hey, we're doing something. No, we're not. We're doing something. No, we're not.
And that's been a lot of people's feedback in terms of, you know,
that's all.
So many promises and just
exactly.
They never follow through. They just they're like, oh, we got these ideas and we're done.
Yeah. See, and that's the whole thing. If they said nothing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
It would be all good. But the problem is
it's a bunch of broken promises.
Up. Everything just keeps on like coming into light, and because like again, they're just trying to keep their names in people's mouths, regardless of if it's positive or negative, and that's been the problem.
And any press is good press.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because if they didn't announce all those things, like the movies are so stretched. The movies that we got right now are so stretched out from each other. There really wouldn't be like any talk of like
the
DC
Flash
stuff.
got delayed like 6 times.
Yeah,
it's been like this movie was announced.
I feel like it's been a decade.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a decade. It has to be because that was announced before the Green Lantern shit. I have a video from 5 years ago on Green Lantern.
Now the Flash movie was announced in 2014, a year before the CW show even aired.
Yeah.
So this is another Rock situation where it's taken nearly 10 plus years,
and it's a movie that
to get this movie
at the end of the day,
and it's
going to mean nothing.
It's filmed, it's edited, it's ready to be released, has still yet to see the light of day.
Yep.
And honestly, to be completely honest, I don't even want it anymore.
Again, I want to see Michael Keaton back in the Batman.
That's like the only thing I'm itching for.
Not because
and then Supergirl was supposed to get like her own thing, possibly.
Sasha Calle as Supergirl. Come on, dog. And listen,
honestly, the only reason I want to see that movie is I want to see her see how she does as Supergirl, and I want to see Michael Keaton back. Like, who doesn't want to see that? Like, that's like, of course, really all I want to see on that note. And it's because like Flash is like one of my favorite characters, and like it's just not a movie.
Again, it hurts because I can't rally behind the character. I haven't been able to rally behind the character
not at
outside the CW. You know what I mean? And even after 4 seasons, the CW is like, you making it nearly impossible for me to rally behind you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool. You introduced the Flash in live action. It's like, no, this is not Barry Allen. I'm sorry. You're giving me Wally West and you're passing them off as Barry Allen. This is not working for me. You know what I mean? And then you want to do Flashpoint, where at the end of the day,
you ain't Flashpoint nothing.
You want Flashpoint, it doesn't matter because you're not adapting the storyline the right way. You didn't build a universe for Barry Allen to fuck up.
So we don't even really have anything for, and also honestly, we're not getting like a Wonder Woman in this. We're not going to get Aquaman in this that I know of.
You're not going to get Thomas Wayne as Batman. You're not going to get Martha
We're not
going to
get
the Joker.
We're not going to get Superman in the way.
You're not going to get the
Atlanteans. That was already
you're not going to get the Atlanteans versus the.
In my little notepads.
You're not going to get the Atlanteans against the Themyscirians.
Nope, not getting
any of that.
My notepad was saying, I was like, because of all this debacle and everything like that, I have a freaking list of the things that could have been, and that if they just kind of like win it through, is Flashpoint Batman, Lauren Cohen as Joker, like a female Joker from Flashpoint, Jeffrey D. Morgan as freaking Flashpoint Batman. We would have got Batman Beyond, with Michael Keaton and a new Terry McGinnis. We would have had a Batfleck film if they just kind of followed through with that. You know what I mean? We could have had a Trinity film, which is
they just had no confidence in anything that they did.
Nothing.
Bro, I will leave it at this: the test footage for Deathstroke, Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Second of test footage,
perfection
alone.
It was
done deal,
bro.
I was sold. Take my money. Here it is.
I was ready to see.
Here's my credit card.
A live action Batman Origins hands down. I was so ready for it because that's what that movie was going to be. It was going to be Batman Origins live action. And Batman Origins, if they just didn't fuck up with a lot of the gadgets, would have been the best game from the whole Arkham series.
Yeah, that was
like
that was really
it was one of the best ones. So,
but yeah, that's all we got with DC, man. That's all we got with DC.
Well, that's what we have all,
and that's all we have for this episode, to be honest, because we went a lot longer than we wanted to with this. But it's like Ed said at the beginning, this is literally another episode dedicated to the DCEU being in absolute shambles. But I will leave it on an optimistic note, on a hopeful note, because I've been telling everybody in our Instagram comments who's been upset about it and expressing their distaste with the reboot. Listen, in order for things to get better, they have to get worse. This is the worst. This is everything crumbling down, breaking it all down, disassembling it, and slowly putting it back together to deliver you the masterpiece that you're hoping for, or you were expecting James Gunn and Peter Safran to deliver. So give it a chance. We're not happy about Henry Cavill leaving. We're not happy about a lot of this news. And to be completely honest, a lot of the news that's come out of this due to this reboot, we probably wasn't going to see the light of day anyway. So it's all for the better. It's all for the better.
Reboot or not, none of that shit we were ever going to see. I definitely know under the current standard, we were never going to see a new Green Lantern movie.
We were never going to see Green Lantern in a feature film ever. We were not going to see that Cyborg movie they were going to give us. That we were supposed to get in 2018. By the way, we were supposed to get that 4 years ago, which got
they did that shit out of spite.
It was out of spite. I mean, but all I can really say is we're heading into new territory with the DCEU. Based on what we see right now, we've got some good leadership, someone who's level-headed, and executives who put a team together and say, you know what, we trust you guys. You guys just let us know what you're gonna do. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we guys let you know, and we work from there. So that's what's going on. We'll see in a couple of weeks. Obviously, in a couple of weeks when we get those official announcements from James Gunn and Peter Safran, obviously, that's another DC dedicated episode.
If he can get 2 movies out roughly within the timeline that they say they'll be out, color me impressed.
Bro.
If I can get 2 movies out within in the rough, it could be delayed a little bit, but in the rough timeline that they provide, I'll be impressed.
Bro, listen. There's a lot for James Gunn to tackle, and he's been very vocal about it. He's like, listen, the way we walked into this universe, it was not perfect, but we're trying to make it work. So that's all we can really hope for. But yeah, that's it. That's it for us this episode. That's all we got. That's all we got. We'll see you guys next year.
No, maybe sooner. Who knows? Maybe we might want to talk about some shows, but we'll let you know. All right, but
we'll let you know.
One way or another, you'll see us.
You guys will see us one way or another. Obviously, keep up with the Nerdy Basement everywhere. If you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure you guys leave a like, drop us a comment, leave us your feedback based on this news, our tangents, whatever the case may be. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on those bell notifications so you do not miss a single upload, whether it be 2-3 days apart, whether it be 2-3 weeks apart. As long as you have those bell notifications on, you will never, ever miss a video from the Nerdy Basement. Obviously, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to stay up to date with all the latest news, interviews and all that, reviews and all that good stuff can be found on the website, including comic book previews and all of that good stuff. We got a lot coming. We got a lot in the works coming for you guys, but we'll leave you with that. Obviously, don't forget to follow Boozer Last Line Show on Twitter. That's where he be on and popping. Yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a happy holidays in case you guys don't see each other. Happy New Year, maybe. I don't know. But we'll see each other again. Find out on the next one. As always, stay nerdy, my friends.
Peace.
Peace.